Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You're the blackest one in this room,
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on America's soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Welcome, everybody. Appreciate you tuning in. You're rolling into the chat. You're coming home. You're dropping all your stuff. Your workday is ending, and you're tuning into the American Anchor Baby. I do appreciate it. What's up, everybody? I'm in the chair. I like the chair, okay? But a more subtle Zelensky. You can get this. You too can get this more subtle Zelensky when you're not trying to disturb the people too much, but still want a little bit of cashish. Okay, you could get this too at... No, I'm joking. I'm not selling Zelenskys. I don't sell Zelenskys. But we are here. Appreciate it, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What was I saying? American Anchor Baby, live on rumble.com/American Anchor Baby, dlive.tv/Gorgonzola, punchy.tv/Anchor Baby. Yes, punchy.tv. Do you guys catch the Punchy TV epi? That was also on Punchy TV, punchy.tv. Wasn't that nice? Appreciate everybody who caught that. We're gonna be filling up all the hours. You guys gonna be watching Bond Network endlessly. But hey, where was I? Welcoming you to the stream. Look, I'm here, and I got some things on my mind. A couple of things I want to get into. And why don't we start it off easy? But before that, let me inform you. 888-775-3773. You want to call the Anchor Baby. You got something on your mind. You got a question. Call that number. You can be on hold, and I'll get to calls shortly. Let's see here, but I wanted to kind of kick it off. Kick it off light. Okay? That's not that light. It depends on how you look at this, okay? It depends on how you look at this. You know, maybe this is heavy. Maybe this is still too heavy. I'd say it's at least lighter. What is Nick talking about? It's lighter. It's maybe not so light of a topic. It might be a little heavy still. I don't know how many pounds. Definitely lighter, but somewhat heavy. Okay, we're talking about Lizzo. And that's what I'm talking about. Melissa, what's her name? Lizzo. We're starting it off light. Witty, confident, singer-rapper. That's an amazing Wikipedia. Who gets witty in their Wikipedia article? Melissa Jefferson, also known as Lizzo, professionally, is a witty. I wish we could get that on Jesse's Wikipedia page. A witty. So witty, confident, witty and confident. Where's your source, bro? Huh? Can we get a source on that Wikipedia? Whoever wrote this, huh? We're gonna need a source. You gotta cite your sources. You can't just write. She's witty and confident. Says who? Witty and confident. I'm gonna need a source on that. You know, you gotta source stuff. I need a source, bro. You know what's funny about that? Is trust me, bro. I need a source, bro. These jokes I'm making, it's like fell into my lap. It's going to come up again later in the show. I do love being thematic. It's going to recur, actually. Where's your source, bro? Where's your source, bro? So I don't know where they're getting their sources that she's a confident, witty, confident singer. But she's a singer, rapper. She's plays flute. And she's, and they say it here on her Wikipedia, she tackles issues of race, sexuality, and body positivity. Okay. Slander. That's funny, Lord Spike Protein. Welcome, sir. But yes, Lizzo, she's quite literally, and this is not a joke, so don't laugh. She's quite literally lighter. Stop laughing. That's the loud sound of rain for those who are listening. My eyes and my ears. No. This is a person who's working on themselves, okay? So I don't appreciate the mess. Anyways, this is kind of going viral a little bit. It's going viral a little bit. Let me see here. Hold on. Because she posted this on Instagram. Thanks, little Nick. She posted this on Instagram. And she's telling the people she's taking a gap year and protecting my peace. She's going to protect her peace. She's going to take a year off. I'm taking a gap year, she says. She's taking a year off. She's doing the silent prayer. Still heavy? Whatever. Where was I? Lizzo. She shared this video. She's out in Bali. She's in a vacation. She's going to take a whole year off to protect her peace. I mean, hey, gap year is a long time when you think about it. A whole year? I know we're all working on ourselves, right? A year's a lot of time. A year's a lot of time to take off for whatever reason. Let's say you're taking it off for mental health reasons, right? We're doing a little assuming here. We'll get into it more. But on just that statement, protecting my peace. Okay, so you're dealing with mental stuff, maybe, internal stuff. What do y'all think? A year's a long time. A year's a long time to protect your peace, right? That only takes but a minute. A whole year to protect. I mean, it really only takes a minute. Right? Or maybe I could tell you later. How, Nick? How? People are telling her she looks amazing. She looks amazing. You look amazing. They're telling her in the comments. You look right on. Keep working. And you bunch of naysayers in the chat. Bunch of naysayers in the chat hate seeing a black woman working on herself. Obviously. Yeah, that's just the way it is, huh? Y'all hate to see it. Black woman working on herself. What, you wanted her to be fat? You wanted the thrills to keep going? Laugh at Lizzo. But they're telling her she looks amazing. And she's working on it. I mean, just from that video, I can't say I have been following Lizzo's weight very closely at all. But I mean, it's kind of a striking difference just from that video. It seems quite different. I mean, you just got to look at pictures a year, 2 years ago. And she's a big girl. She's a big girl. Healthy at every size. Big girl, you know. There's something, I doubt that. I highly doubt healthy at every size. But she's working on it. Losing the weight. And they're telling her she's beautiful. I can't help but notice, is this a little bit of, isn't this, wait, are you accepting all these people calling you beautiful? Were you not beautiful before? I'm just being mean. Holding her to some standards that she put out herself, right? The body positivity movement. You can't fat shame. It's all about body positivity, healthy at every size. Some people are just fat, I guess. Was the conclusion from all that? But whatever, let's just put that in the past, right? Because, and she's protecting her peace. She's protecting her peace. Funny way of putting it. Protecting your peace from what? Like You're telling me there's things that can affect your peace. There's things outside of you that can take away your peace. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like I'm some. Look, I'm not coming at you from a mightier than thou. I just gotta point it out. When something's yellow, it's yellow. When something is not peaceful, it's not peaceful. You could judge the anchor baby all you want, but peace, by definition, can't be affected by what's outside. No, true peace. You can't be affected by, right? Your peace, to have to protect it implies it could be taken away. But anyways, and she's had a little bit of unpeaceful couple of months, couple months, maybe years, or there was all this mess that came out like in March. I don't know if it was March of this year or before that, but she was like, she went on social media and kind of made us think about being in the public eye and being criticized. My character is being picked apart. She says, I'm getting tired of putting up with being dragged by everyone in my life and on the internet. See, this is a little bit of how her peace was taken away. All I want is to make music and make people happy and help the world be a little better than how I found it. But I'm starting to feel like the world doesn't want me in it. I'm constantly up against lies being told about me for clout and views, being the butt of the joke every single time because of how I look, my character being picked apart by people who don't know me and disrespecting my name. I didn't sign up for this ish. I quit, she said. Not music, but she's just describing this lack of peace. And I find it quite interesting, right? You got to keep in mind the energy around this body positivity and that whole world of people who claim this strength and this peace. It's like there's something corrupt about it. I love myself at any size, but you can be convinced, but you can be somehow convinced against that when someone makes fun of you. I am strong, I'm resilient. But, I mean, you're not, right? The world could take it away. So keep that in mind of this whole body positivity. Their world is wrong. You know, why would you trip about a world that's wrong at all? So anyways, where was I? I wanted to briefly mention this mess back in like a year ago, basically, where she was being sued by former backup dancers. I'm sure you heard about this, maybe. Their whole stink was that she was creating a toxic work environment, and they're suing her for sexual harassment. And the details can be a little sordid, but essentially it's a bunch of people agreeing to do stuff, and then after, these employees of hers or whatever saying, actually, that was sexual harassment. And nobody, you know, I guess I don't really want to mention the deets, but Lizzo has interesting friends, and they're very sexual. And they go to Amsterdam, and they go to nude performers, and maybe they got all hyped up, and some of her employees, friends or whatever, were, you know, like they were excited, and they're like, yeah, do this thing that's gross or, you know, sexual. And then they regretted it. And not, anyways, I'll leave it at that. She says they were sensationalized claims. I bring that up because it'll coincide with the world turning on her a little bit. So allow me to continue here. You know, I don't know why y'all acting like she hasn't been working on herself. Okay, she's been losing weight, apparently. Apparently she's been on a weight loss journey for some time. They say Lizzo's been on a fitness journey for quite some time. It says here, in 2023. All right, that's quite some time, right? A whole year? Come on, that's quite some time, right? Come on, that's quite some time. The funny thing about that, though, is in a year, you'd be surprised how much you could change if you're pretty dedicated. And I can believe that. I know people are saying it's surgery or something. I don't know. Whatever I saw in that first clip, I can believe that. And I seen her Instagram lately, but mostly because of this story I put together. And yeah, she's there. She's working out. It's like right on. For people who are struggling with food, you're struggling with food. You have a yo-yo diet. Your weight is going up and down. You'd be surprised how much food you can go without. And I don't know if you know that, if you've tried that. So I could believe that a year could change a lot. And your whole face changes. Okay, your face, your body, fat changes you. It ages you, makes you... It really does. And you'd be surprised how little food you really need. Anyways, where was I? Here's what's interesting, though. I can't help but, I was looking at this, and this is what kind of got me, is they're turning on her. The world is turning on her for trying to lose weight, for bettering herself or whatever. They're turning on her. Lizzo has been on a fitness journey, although she told her followers that while she's been taking the physical part of her career more seriously, in recent months, she said she's not trying to escape fatness. Look, you got to see this. Let me just show you, because it's deeper than you think.
Weight loss comes with the territory, but I'm not trying to escape fatness. I'm heavy.
Oh yeah, maybe you're not understanding because of the TikTok format, but she is responding to another woman on TikTok, speaking about her weight loss journey, and this woman says the phrase, "I'm not trying to escape fatness." It's that statement that Lizzo is heavily agreeing with.
On the not trying to escape fatness. Heavy fucking on it. I just wanted to stitch this to show support to you, because this creator specifically said, I'm looking for people that I can resonate with. Very, very same. I have a very high performance job. For 90 minutes a night, I have to do choreography, I have to sing, I have to dance, I have to rap, and I have to play the flute. And I have to emote and hype a crowd. It takes a lot of physical endurance to do what I do. And I used to be very rock star lifestyle, used to throw myself around on the stage. As I got more professional in my career, I started to take the physical part more seriously. I've always loved moving my body. I've always loved working out. I've always been super into like being holistic conscious, because when you say health conscious, it comes very loaded, but I'm very holistically conscious. Like, I am very hippy dippy and woo woo when it comes to food and supplements and just thinking about my body and like the environment. And I think a lot of people see a fat person that way and immediately just assume everything they're doing is to be thin. I'm not trying to be thin. I don't ever want to be thin. Will my body fluctuate from this size? Will I get a little smaller depending on some of the choices I make, or a little bigger depending on some of the choices I make in my life? Yes, I'm used to fluctuating. However, the goal is always here. Once I started working out for mental health, to have balanced mental health, for endorphins, so that I don't look at myself in the mirror and feel ashamed of myself and feel disgusted with myself, exercise has helped me shift my mind, not my body. My body is going to change. Everyone's bodies change. That's life. That's what the human existence is. Human experience is. You a baby and your body continues to change forever until it stops. And it's going to keep changing after that too, because you're going to be dust. But
Christian,
embracing the fact that your body changes, that's a part of it. And making sure that this is what we have the power over. Everything I eat, everything I do, every time I move my body, it's all for this. Because if this ain't happy, none of this is happy. So hello, friend. I feel you.
That's
weight loss comes with it.
That's Lizzo. Lizzo. She's on her journey. And a couple interesting things. There's just a crossroads of so many things here. And it starts with this wrong like foundation, because you notice the world the world always takes, let's call it the truth. Let's even call it the word, because you can see the world repeat things that are in the Bible even, but yet they've been flipped. There's something missing. They say love everyone. They say love is love and you got to love everyone. But their love is emotional. Their love changes. It flips. It can be affected. It could be, and it can leave. And their love is feelings to them. Love, and if you hurt someone else's feelings, it means you're not loving them. You're hating them. And who are the most offended and who hurt people? People who are corrupt and evil. And these corrupt and evil people, when their feelings get hurt because, whatever, and you feel bad for them, that's love. And the world does that with so many things. Like when she's saying, if this up here, she points to her head, isn't happy, nothing else is happy. There's something that everyone kind of instinctually knows about that. You lose the head game, it's over. You lose the mental, it's over. Quick side note, though, she's saying she's a real holistic person, a hippy-dippy. She knows all the supplements. Sounds complicated, no? How come all the complicated people with the food and the diets? Okay, maybe not. How do I put this? I hear all sorts of stuff about diets and what you should avoid and da-da-da. And it sounds like Lizzo knows all of that stuff. And it doesn't seem to be that helpful. It seems like you could know all that stuff and still be fat, I guess. Maybe it's a little simpler. Just maybe it's a little simpler, just like your relationship with food. Or, eating and how much you move. I gotta say, I suspect it's much simpler. All this holistics and all that don't seem to be helping. I mean, depends on who you ask. You ask a body positive person, they're healthy at every size, but I'd like to know what a doctor says, maybe. I'll take the experts on this one. Some experts even. So just a funny thing about complicated eating regimens and your relationship with food. Because you can have a bad relationship with food and all that and still be like, and not be fat like Lizzo. For example, I remember when I was, I got it in my head. As opposed to just working out and just getting stronger and learning as you go, figuring out how your body works, making mistakes even. I got it in my head some years ago, if you remember, earlier on with Bond. You may remember a chubbier anchor baby. I got it in my head. I'm like, I need to bulk. It's time to bulk. Bulking time, baby. I just got fat instead. I just got fat instead. I can still do, I don't know if I can still do the 200 plus 1 rep max like I did before, but I feel pretty athletic lately. When I run outside with the soccer ball, I feel pretty athletic, but back then I just got it in my head. Bulk, let's bulk, baby. And I was like measuring my food, and I'm not saying the specific methods I was doing was wrong. It was my relationship with the food and recording it and all that. I thought I literally made myself think I needed all that. And so then when I went the other way and just stopped trying to do anything with food, I learned how little food I need and then just built from there. And I'll just work out and whatever. That's what changed. People would ask me too. People started asking me all the time, Nick, what'd you change? How are you losing all this fat? Like, what'd you change? What's your secret? And I'm like, and I'm looking back, I'm looking at my diet and I'm looking at just my days and I'm like remembering how I could go like a whole day and barely eat anything. I'm not saying that's healthy. I'm not telling you to go do that. But I could go a whole day just not really eating anything. And I could see how little food I really needed. And then I built from there. I built up from there. No, it's not Ozempic. See, Eric, stop putting that out there in the chat. People are going to see that and they're going to ignore what I'm saying and get on drugs and not believe me. Nick's on Ozempic. No, I'm just not obsessed with food. But anyways, she's talking about goal is mental, working on mental health so she could balance her endorphins and not look at herself or hate herself. And again, just to maybe inaccurately, I may not even have the words to describe this, but look, it's this empty, there's something true about it's you have something wrong in your mental when you look at yourself and hate yourself like that. But also, Lizzo, when you're looking in the mirror, you're seeing a fat person. Like, that's real. You know what I mean? Like, that's still a fact. So it gets all muddied up with this emotional body positivity stuff, which she doesn't even seem to be all that into anymore. In fact, they're calling it body neutrality now. They're saying the body positivity movement has evolved. Well, somebody tell all of Lizzo's fans, because they're all mad at her. They're saying that she's running away from fatness. What a thing to say. And I want to make one more comment here. 888-775-3773. Look, this is the story is what's the spirit behind this story. You got to see it. We'll continue with it as the show moves on. We got other stories, but this is the spirit behind the election. This is the spirit behind so much of America, what was behind the DNC, and how can there be all these people going and cheering to nothing, to emotions and feel good commentary and platitudes. It's because the spirit that's behind this whole body positivity stuff, which encourages people to love themselves, but they really hate themselves, which encourages people to not judge each other, but they're ready to judge each other and cannibalize each other clearly. Lizzo, trailblazer. And she says, this is the one thing we have power over. She says, what we eat. I've heard this before. We have power over what goes in our bodies. I heard someone say this, I think on my show once, that I was saying something about not having control. And this person said, no, we do have some control over some things. You can't give up that power you have, the power to control what goes in your body. Sorry, newsflash, you don't even have control over that. You don't even have control over that. You could go and micromanage your food and where you're sourcing it from. Sorry, have you heard of microplastics? They're everywhere. You know what I mean? You do not have control. You actually don't have control over anything. The power over what goes in my body. Actually, you don't even have control over that. And people would think maybe I'm insane for saying that, but think about it. You don't even have control over what goes in your body. What's more important than any of that anyways is what you think about all day and what you eat in the mind, what you feed there. That's what's more important than anything, but more on that later. Body positivity. They're saying it's evolving. And she would encourage people to love themselves no matter their size or shape. And do I need to tell you how hypocritical, how backwards that is? To kowtow to the sensibilities of the fat people and then try and better yourself. What are you, a black politician? What are you, a politician, a race hustler? What are you? Yes, you are oppressed. You are oppressed. It's the world's fault. Meanwhile, you're living at Martha's Vineyard. The idea of body positivity, it's moved away from the antiquated mainstream conception, Lizzo said. It's evolved into body neutrality. Well, okay, Lizzo. Will we get an apology maybe? Will you maybe tell your fat positive friends who may not see older age? Would you tell them, Lizzo, I was wrong. It's time to work out. And she doesn't want to be thin. Where was I? She doesn't want to be thin. Well, yeah, that's clear. If you wanted to be thin, you'd be thin. Okay. Where was I? Lizzo, she's losing weight very slowly, she says. My body, she is getting public criticism for losing weight, which is amazing. And she's telling those people, my body is nobody's business. You tell them, girl. These people are just judging you anyways. Don't even put that out there. The world does it. The world's a nasty place. Didn't you realize that yet, Lizzo? Your own employees and backup dancers sensationalize some crazy stuff. Yeah, you guys were in a sordid lifestyle. And yeah, Lizzo, when you're living like that, you can get burned. So yeah, that's what happens, Lizzo. You gotta learn. But didn't you also learn that all your friends and this love is love, body positivity friends are all fake, ready to cannibalize you in a moment? Not only that, all your fans, your adoring fans, turning on you. Why are you running from fatness? Haven't you realized the world has no love? Lizzo shared in TikTok back in 2020 that she's a vegan. See, diets, your little fad diets, all your little tips and tricks and da-da-da, you can still be fat. Look, you could be a fat vegan. So maybe it's something else. Maybe it's like, how do I put it? Discipline? Anyways, look, you got to want it, Lizzo. You got to be hungry. Okay, wait, back up. Wait, too soon. There are I wanted to finish this up. This is the love of the body positivity peeps, a great example of the false love of the world. The way Lizzo thinks and feels is how your neighbors, your mom, a whole bunch of people, the Democrats, everybody at the DNC, that's how they feel. That's what motivates them. Not reality. Not actual, like, hey, maybe don't be fat because it's going to kill you. No, feelings. Feelings are love to them. And from that is the source of so many. How do you explain this? How do you explain seeing a person so fat and unhealthy, and then, right, deny reality and link arm in arm with a bunch of fat people, say, we are healthy, and then to flip from that, try and better herself. It's like, what are you bettering, Lizzo? Your health? Are you implying that it was bad? And then the world turning on you. How do you explain all that? Someone's been trying to explain it. 30 years. 30 years. JLP been trying to say. So, some of you guys are like, yeah, Jesse's right on some stuff. Time to figure it out. Perfect explanation. False love of the world. Where was I? Demons who will cannibalize their own for their own gain. This is the spirit behind the election. She has guilt of being fat like people are guilted into being black. What are you trying to leave the hood? What's the Uncle Tom of fat people? And to bring it home, this started in the home with Lizzo. Like it did with all people. This started in the home. Like Jesse's been saying. Yeah, that started in the home. Not only being fat, not only all that, but the mentality and the spirit that's driving the insanity. I'm trying really hard to explain myself even better, but maybe I should stop trying. Whatever you got, you got. Started in the home with Lizzo. That's an interesting story to me, okay? 888-775-3773. There's so much on display there. The judgment of the world. And these people aren't even going to get it, Lizzo. Time to move on. You keep doing your flute. That big girl can move, okay? So when she's doing her flute and she's in her little, tight clothes. I don't know if you can breathe in those. I don't know, Lizzo, but she can move. Like sometimes what I'm trying to say with that is that within the prison of fat, there's people who've. What am I trying to say? All I'm trying to say is I believe her when she says that she's this girl who's always been running around and jumping around even from a little girl. I bet you she really was. And so you go play your flute and all that and you keep doing your thing, but don't try and prove yourself to the world. They hate you. What else about this? And and wake up, Lizzo. You don't have love and trying to play both camps here. Oh, don't worry, body positivity people. I'm not going to get against you guys. Trying to play these both camps. The truth doesn't work like that, Lizzo. Anyways, 888-775-3773. Amazing. Lizzo. What else about this? Look, the world's really you guys get it, right? Do I need to explain anymore? Come on, you guys get it. how fake the world is. And when you see the comments and the people turning on Lizzo, come on, can't you draw a line all the way to the DNC and be like, wow, I understand why facts don't matter. and celebrity endorsements is all you need to win an election, at least to get your Democrats to vote for you. What else? Yeah. Lizzo, thank you, Lizzo. Do appreciate it there. For the story. But yeah. Yep. There are big athletic people. Yeah, I guess that's all I was trying to say, Irish Repub. I guess I'm thinking of football players. You ever seen these big boys? The D-line? Damn, some of these boys are big, but they're strong. Big boys. Defensive line in football. I mean, some of these guys they're like juggernauts, jigglenauts. Just jiggling on the field, but you don't want that smacking into you. With a whole bunch of muscle underneath. I bet you Lizzo has muscle underneath, no? But she is, what else? Look, okay, you can look it up. You can look up the change in the fat. But I want to move on here because I came across like a Mack truck. What's up, KT? Terry, welcome. 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎. Welcome, everybody. Appreciate you being here. I did want to move on here. I think we spent enough time on Lizzo. Dang, look at the time. Because I came across a little video, which I'm sure all of you are very familiar with, okay? And we're opening up old wounds. Okay, we're going there. And we're going there. We're going where? To ground zero. 9/11. September 11th. You know about 9/11. But I came across a video that I'd never seen before. I feel like you guys all know. And probably what I have to say about it, you guys have heard before. But you guys ever seen George Bush, the moment he learned about 9/11? And I always knew that he was in a classroom. I always knew that because of the way it was parodied. And anytime this was parodied, George Bush is in a classroom, and then some Secret Service or whatever comes up to him and whispers in his ear and tells him, basically, America's under attack. Wait till you hear about the steel beams, Nit. Man, I heard something about this building. What is it? They call it Building 7. I hear all this crap like conspiracy theories. I've yet to look into it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll look into it. Look, I came across the George Bush video. He learns about 9/11, and I got to play it for you. I'm sure you've heard this before, but I was looking at this like, no way this is real. No way this is real. Is the anchor baby not getting it? Is the anchor baby not getting it? Because there's something just so fake about this. And just to preface it, George Bush in the video is sitting besides this, she's a black woman. She's the teacher of this class. She has all her students before her. And at least in the video, it looks like a lot of them are black. They look black. George Bush is listening to a little moment with the classroom where the teacher is putting them through some sort of reading gauntlet, some sort of reading exercise where she's like, read it fast, da-da-da, and the kids are repeating. And if you just like saw this video quickly, you'd be like, well, look at that. This is a classroom where they're putting them through the ringer and teaching them how to read and caring about their education. But a little bit of, look, folks, does this look weird to you? You tell me. Does this video look weird to you?
Are you ready, my butterflies? Yes. LLP position, eyes on me. 1, 2, 3. Get ready to read all the words on this page without making a mistake. Read this word the fast way. Get ready.
Park.
Yes, park. What do these two letters say?
R.
Yes, R. Sound it out. Get ready.
R.
What word?
Park.
Yes, park. What do these two letters say?
O.
Yes, pick your reader up from under your seat. Open your book up to lesson
So well behaved.
C on page 153.
Uh-oh. He got the call.
And I'm watching a child read. And then I see the press in the back of the room beginning to get the same message I just got. And I could see the horror etched on the face of the news people who had just gotten the same news. And so I waited for the appropriate moment to leave the classroom. I didn't want to do anything dramatic. I didn't want to, lurch out of the chair and scare the classroom full of children. And so I waited.
Try it again. Get ready for the beginning of that sentence. Get ready.
Get ready. Get ready. Okay, look. I've never seen this. Heard about it. May have seen pictures or whatever. That's funny, Kilo Alpha Tango. George Bush laugh. How come when George Bush would be parodied the parody, there's like a parody voice of George Bush when you do a George Bush impression. There's a parody way of doing it. It's always like that, Kilo. It's always like Bush, Bush. But it's not quite a proper Bush impression. It's like the parody Bush impression. I got to work on that one. Someone give me a line. What's the Bush? There's something really funny about that. You guys know what I'm talking about. There's a way that the Bush impression gets done in parodies, and it's always like, I'm just trying to read comics. And that's not even like Bush. So anyways, he's talking to the kids, and what I saw when I saw this, look, this is besides the 9/11 stuff, I guess. It was the teacher. Is that normal? What? Or am I nitpicking? Am I not getting it? Is that how you learn reading? Reading makes a country great. In the back of the classroom, the president is coming to the classroom. Okay, so what do we do? Make sure we gotta like show that we really teach reading. Now, unless someone's about to show me that this is like some Sigma 6 classic reading, I don't know, curriculum, and it's like, yeah, Nick, this is totally normal. It was done in a bunch of classrooms. Unless someone tells me that, this seems ridiculous. Okay, are you ready? The fast way, 2 letters. What does this say? It's just so, it seems like performative. Like we're running a tight ship. We're really learning how to read. We're really, really learning, and this is our method. Or did just kids used to behave, Terry? It seems fake. This is staged. Put on your tinfoil hats. This is staged. These are actors. No. These are actors, but this is a funny method. Them kids was acting. Are you ready? Get ready. 2 letters. What sounded out? Reading makes a country great. You know what happens when you Google 9/11? And this may also be one of those things that's not weird at all. And I'm just being an anchor baby. But I go to 9/11. I go 9/11 on Google. Hold up here. I go 9/11 on Google. Then I click on the news tab. And I get a bunch of news, but obviously that's what you're going to get. You're going to get news on the news tab, but it's all really recent. 2 hours ago, 15 hours ago. You mean there's still news about 9/11? Am I being ignorant, chat? Former flight attendant pushing a beverage cart from Boston to New York in remembrance of 9/11. Downtown Pensacola's 9/11 Memorial Arch vandalized. Okay, well, that's news. I mean, it happened. Nick Saban didn't let 9/11 attacks interrupt his coaching for a game that ended up postponed. A new look, a book. 2 days ago. Mom of 4 battling 9/11 cancer, 9/11 related cancer, fired days before Christmas, 2 days ago. J.D. Vance addresses Robert F. Kennedy. Oh yeah, we'll get into that in a moment. 1 day ago. What, folks? Come on. 2 hours, like, there's still fresh news about the 9/11 stuff? Or am I being, what am I? We gotta, like, keep it going. Let me see. Any other tragedies? What, like World War II? Are we gonna get, like, recent news from the world? What if I type in Pearl Harbor? Let me type in Pearl Harbor attack. December 6, 2023. March, okay, a year ago. 2 years ago. That's still pretty recent, but we're not getting news from hours ago. Let me type in something else. Let me type in Holocaust. Let's see here. 2 days ago, 11 hours ago. I don't know. There's not really a deep point here, folks. Just stuff I was Googling and noticed. J.D. Vance, on the 9/11 topic, J.D. Vance addresses Robert F. Kennedy, saying he won't take sides on 9/11. Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance said he has no hesitations about accepting RFK Jr.'s endorsement, although he doesn't agree with some of his conspiracy theories, says USA Today. In an interview that aired Sunday morning, the independent presidential candidate suspended his campaign and endorsed former President Donald Trump. Right on, RFK, let's go. Speculation about whether Kennedy was pulling more votes for Republicans or Democrats has surrounded his White House bid. I'm sure you know about that. But in an interview with Meet the Press, Vance was asked about the conspiracy theories Kennedy has spread and said he, in particular, did not agree with Kennedy's stance that he won't take sides on 9/11. Now, what the heck is he talking about? Basically, RFK on X.com was speaking on that very topic, saying, my take on 9/11. It's hard to tell what is a conspiracy theory and what isn't. RFK Jr. leaving space for some of these so-called theories to be conspiracy facts, maybe, allegedly. He continues, he says, but conspiracy theories flourish when the government routinely lies to the public. Right on, RFK. As president, I won't take sides on 9/11 or any other debates, but I can promise. But I can promise is that I will open the files and usher in a new era of transparency. Hey, that's all the people want, right? You got all sorts of crazy theories, right? You got all sorts of wild, crazy theories. Now, wouldn't some? Now, you're going to have people who are crazy no matter what, but wouldn't a little bit of transparency maybe cut right through that? You know, you got all sorts. They say there are all sorts of wild, crazy conspiracies about elections and all that. I don't know anything about that. They got all sorts of crazy theories, and you got people on the media, politicians, endlessly beating people saying, no, there's nothing that's happening. And then they censor you and they ban you from this or that. No, shut up. Nothing's happening. I'm just saying, people, like RFK said, a little transparency might calm down the insanity. We don't want insanity, right? We don't want chaos. We want to have a functioning country. And if you've got a whole bunch of people that are not going to believe in the system and the method of voting and all that, you got a problem on your hands. Wouldn't a loving government want to quell such things? You know, at least in part, I get it. Stuff is classified and all that. There's got to be something that could be done. So that's what Vance seems to be against, though. He's saying, I don't know about y'all. I don't know about this RFK fella. But this is what Vance says. I don't know. But he's saying, I certainly have taken sides in 9/11. Vance said, I'm the pro-America side. He says, I don't know what RFK said there, but what I do know is that RFK said a lot of very interesting and important things. That the Democratic Party has become too pro-censorship. So he throws in a little right on to RFK for calling out the Democrats and their pro-censorship stuff. But I'm down with the transparency, no? Isn't that pro-America, J.D. Vance? Transparency and not taking sides. Because why do you need to take a side on facts and all that, right? Just let it be, let it fall where it may, and let the people decide, no? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, J.D. Vance, RFK, and 9/11. It seemed to fit. It seemed to fit. I had to show it to you. But yeah, I never saw that with Bush. What do you guys think? Am I crazy? It looked performative. Say it quick. Say and read this without making mistakes. The fast way. What's the fast way? Can we get what's the fast way and the slow way? Are you? She says like some sort of method. She's like, okay, now read this in the fast way with no mistakes. Where was I? J.D. Vance, 9/11, and all this mess. I just never seen that with Bush. Bush, George Bush, Georgia Bush. No, wait, that's somebody else. Let me see here. 888-775-3773. Let's see here. RFK can't tell the difference between the conspiracy theories and what's not. With all that. Let's see here. I know some of you guys are way more up on all that. I don't know. I really don't. I never really looked into it like that. But anyways, I do want to get into something interesting here. And it has to do with sources, bro. I see calls coming in, though. I want to get right to you. 888-775-3773. But Mike Lindell has no sources, bro. And he got rolled by a 12-year-old. We're about to get into it. I have something fascinating about that. But I do have a caller. Caller, can I get your name and where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Hey, it's Terry in Oregon.
What's up, Terry? How you been?
Oh, I've been good. I'm doing better since our last chat about 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. I've accepted.
You've accepted it? Nice to hear. You were inconsolable.
Yeah. I needed to process it and let it go. You know, I'm a woman. I have to go through my little thing, you know?
Last we talked, you stopped believing in true love. Anyways, I'm just messing around with that. I don't even know where I'm going with that. Go ahead.
I called in to talk about Lizzo, I guess, or like the whole weird, fat political thing that's become so popular nowadays. It's kind of maddening.
It's strange.
I don't know if you want to continue talking about that.
No, please get it off your chest.
Man. Well, I used to be fat, Nick. It was terrible.
For real?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out, Fat Terry.
Yeah, shout out to the ex-fats. Well, you know.
We love Fat Terry. What happened? We missed the old Terry. No, that's a joke.
I would have made her thin a long time sooner because it's terrible for you to be fat.
Mm-hmm.
It like exasperates any health problems you have. And it's so bad for your body. So it's just kind of amazing to me, like with Lizzo in that video, and she's a mess anyway. She's constantly like reacting, and you know it's very easy to get her upset. But it's just amazing to me that people aren't recognizing that they need to lose weight in terms of their health. Because she's like, oh, I'm on a health journey. I'm doing all this, you know, to be healthy or stronger. And the biggest thing that she could do is just lose weight to improve her health. It's because I was listening to the video, even her breathing in that video, she's been doing all this working out. Her breathing is still labored. You can still hear it if you listen. And I've kind of learned to pick this up as well with a lot of overweight people, or even listening to like maybe myself years ago, if I have like recording of that. The breathing is when you have all that extra fat just on your body, it labors the breathing So it's just astounding to me that she's like even still trying to placate this idea that you can be fat and healthy.
Amazing,
Anyway,
truly.
amazing.
And
It's
I love that you
crazy.
brought up. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, go on.
I love that you brought up, because I didn't even quite know that she would react so much, and you could trigger her quite easily. She could be provoked by the public that easily. And I didn't quite know that, but I totally can believe it. And it's an interesting thing, because the thing about this kind of, fatness and all this, it's not besides the unhealthy aspect, you're wearing your problems in a very obvious and physical way. And there's just levels to this, because people will look at a fat person and it's so easy to judge. It's so easy to judge. But what's really made her fat is just her inability to deal with life, her inability to deal with stress and life. And the evidence is in the ease of how you can provoke her. That is the source of the fatness. And it's funny how everybody has that, but some, different people, you got different people who wear it differently, right? She wears it very publicly. It's just so much on display.
Yeah.
And I can't even put it into words, but you're helping me here.
I mean, I have some sympathy for, the fat people they're going through it, and the fact that it's so visible, like their struggle, what they're dealing with, their demons are so visible. A lot of other people can hide kind of what they're struggling with, but when you're very overweight, it's clear that you have an eating problem. But I think there's a lot of denial about that and unwillingness to talk about that. And I mean, our culture really does push people to eat too much as well.
Yeah.
I know for me, it was just, I didn't realize how much I didn't need to eat. You mentioned this as well for yourself, but I'd been, trained up, like eat 3 meals a day,
right,
have snacks, and if you have a sedentary modern lifestyle, if you're working at a desk, that's the worst thing you could do for yourself is eat that much. That's the kind of diet that somebody who's physically active all day needs, not somebody who's sedentary. So,
big time.
Yeah, people really do need to kind of get real about that. But it's
big time.
When you do lose weight, though, there's a lot of people that come for you. I experienced it as well.
You think you're better? You think you're thin?
Are you okay? Or are you okay? Are you sick? Why have you lost so much weight? We're really worried about you, like that kind of fake concern.
Right.
And I'm like, why weren't you concerned about me when I was like, inflamed and fat, and like my face was red all the time and I was in pain, and like you weren't concerned about that. But I'd make a few healthy changes, and over time they add up to me losing weight, and it seems rapid to people too if they're not, in front of you every day. But it's crazy. It's crazy, and a lot of people also think it's a liberation politic as well. So
that is so insane.
Being fat is like some kind of marker of your radicalism, or
that is interesting. Yeah. That is the modern rebellion against society. That is a big rebellion, actually, when you think about it. I'm going to be fat.
It's not rebellion, though, because, I don't know. It was one of the shows today. Somebody mentioned that, 49% of the population is obese now. Okay.
Rebellion against anything. How about just rebelling against logic itself?
Yeah, rebelling against, truth. Truth, I would say it is. It's another rebellion against God's natural order. We know that, excess calorie consumption will lead, over time to weight gain.
Yeah.
And if you got hundreds of pounds on you that you don't need, that's been something you've been doing for a long time. And I think a lot of people are just in denial about that. So I think she represents that in so many ways. And she just is always I don't know, maybe I don't want to tear her apart, but she just irritates me as a public figure in so many ways because she has this like insane victimhood and she acts out constantly and like she's an exhibitionist and she does things that are rather disgusting. And then if, people respond negatively, she just becomes this wounded child. It's very strange.
It really is devoid of reality. And it's like it's like the equivalent of trying to bend the laws of physics, but like socially. Oh, I'm going to do something crazy. Why are you reacting to the crazy thing I did? What's wrong with you?
Why don't you want to see me like dancing with my butt out at a, event or what other number of things or just, also there's the obscenity of it too. Like the way she just has her fat out, like it's in your face and it's grotesque when anyone is exposing too much skin, but when it's that much fat, there's something even more obscene about it.
Of
like
course.
I don't know.
It's like when it's obscene is the word. Obscene is the word. It's just so much. It's like when you get like something, you get sauce on food or something. Some people just like they put more sauce than food. Like that's obscene. That has to be like a sin.
Yeah.
Like God must be looking at that like this is sin. This is a sin. That's too much. That's too much nacho cheese. That is just way too much. It's covered. I don't see any nachos.
Yeah. Or I just feel that way when I see people just dump ketchup on top of their fries or something instead of putting a little pile of it next to the fries to dip it in. Like why would you?
It's like seeing too much mayonnaise in one place. Like, it's one thing to get a couple eggs and some oil and you emulsify it yourself at home and you got your little mayo. And it's another thing to open up a tub, a 20-pound tub of mayonnaise for industrial purposes. I'm like, where did we go wrong?
Those big tubs of mayonnaise are pretty amazing, though.
No, I love it. Hey, I've
seen them at workplaces in the past. Yeah.
Terry, anything else you want to say on this?
No, I just wanted to be harsh and judgmental about Lizzo and, deride her insanity and the insanity of anybody who thinks what she's saying is acceptable in any way. So,
yeah,
thanks.
We don't even have to be that harsh or judgmental. We don't have to do any of that. And just talk about it without any passion and just matter-of-factly. And really, come on.
I suppose
if we're showing anybody love at least a little bit, it's Lizzo here because look at how the world's look at all the people around her and they're turning on her. We're just pointing out how they don't have love.
Yeah. Oh, I loved what you said though about that because you said that they don't have any love. There's all this false positivity, but no actual love. Because if there was love, there would be truth there, and there's just lies and deception and good feelings, but no love. So,
good way of summarizing it. Yeah, I was like all long-winded. Yeah, there it is. It's full of lies. What would a loving movement need deception and lies for?
Right. It wouldn't need any, and it wouldn't care about your feelings. It would care about what's good for you, which is like what love is. Anyway.
Appreciate it, Terry.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call.
No problem. Call me again.
See you in the chat. Bye.
All right, bye. 888-775-3773. You want to get it off your chest? You want to talk to the anchor baby? You can. You can. I wanted to talk about something else, though. Okay? Let me get to this. Where's your source, bro? Can I get a source, bro? What do you mean, trust me, bro? Okay, I want to get into Mike Lindell. You know, the My Pillow guy. Mike Lindell. Do I have my Midwestern accent on lock? No, I'm not going to try. Midwestern. Look, Mike Lindell. They're saying he got rolled. He got wrecked by some 12-year-old. And basically Mike Lindell went to the Democratic National Convention. And he shaved. He's got a hat and sunglasses on. They're saying he was there undercover in disguise. Mike, come on. Mike Lindell. Oh, yeah, look at that. He did shave. He shaves his iconic mustache to infiltrate the DNC. So he did do it, to infiltrate. Doing some espionage. And so he shaves his mustache. He goes to the DNC. And there's a moment that was caught on camera, and they're putting it all over X. It's where this 12-year-old basically asks Mike Lindell about some of his claims about the 2020 election. You know what I mean? Some shenanigans. And Mike Lindell's been quite vocal about his thoughts, his opinion, YouTube. I don't know anything about that, okay? He believes that there was some shenanigans, some mess with the 2020 election, that it wasn't the fairest and freest of it, according to him. And he's been quite vocal about it, has gotten a lot of negative attention because of it. In fact, his business has taken on a major hit. MyPillow made $110 million a year in gross sales prior to the election controversy, but now makes only about $5 million, a whopping 95% drop. However you want to slice that, that's what's happening. Polarizing MAGA supporters. So he's at the DNC, and he's confronted by a young 12-year-old, a young black and gifted. Let me show you the first clip here that went around viral of Mike Lindell getting rolled by a 12-year-old. Who'd have thunk?
That's in your state. You want to know more in your state?
So
they just found 257,000 votes. This happened last week. A judge ruled in Georgia that are missing from the 2020 election. This just came out. You're behind.
So your source is trust me, bro? That's your source?
The source, it's in your papers in Georgia. You need to read your news.
You haven't given me any last name.
You need to read your news. No, this is your Georgia news. This is your Georgia.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good day, sir. All right. Let's keep walking.
Oh, dang, Mike Lindell, you just got source, bro? You don't even have a source with you, Mike? You didn't know? What? You just got source, broed? What are they even talking about? I got another clip for you that might give us more context here. What were they arguing about? But you just saw the young black influencer, they're calling him. Don't worry, we'll get into what they were arguing about in a moment here, but I want you to see who he's arguing with. Who rolled him? They're saying they destroyed him. His name is Noah. And I don't know if this is how it was spelled on his birth certificate, but he goes by Noah. Knowa. I'm a Noah. I'm a Noah. You got to be a Noah of things. You feel me? You got to be a Noah. I'm a Noah. I'm a Noah and a doer. Okay, Noah. Noah. I'm trying to show you his Twitter. His Twitter, look at him. Look at little Noah. Noah getting hugged by Mamala. Look at that smile. Thanks, Mamala. Look at that smile on Noah. Knowa. Noah. I'm so ready for President Kamala Harris. Look at this. He's getting babied by Mamala. Look at your little boy. He's so cute. Oh, my God. Oh, sorry, headphones users. R.I.P. headphones users. They are now dead. Hugging on Noah. Hugging and kissing on Noah. Oh, Noah. He's a Democrat. And
that's in your state.
And he's fighting with Mike Lindell. And he's telling him, where's your source, bro? Huh? Where's your source, bro? And if you heard the clip kicked off with them arguing about Georgia. And Mike Lindell has been, like I said, vocal about what he believes are irregularities in the election. And not only that, he's made a lot of noise about some of these. It started off with the recounts in Arizona and Georgia and the investigations that have gone since from that. And some that come to mind, the case about, for example, Dominion and the voting machines. I can't tell you the deets and how that all went down, but basically, if I'm understanding correctly, it didn't really go anywhere, and I don't know why. If it's corruption or whatever, but nonetheless, there were interesting moments in these cases. But anyways, Mike Lindell has been vocal about irregularities, etc., and he's telling Noah here about a friend of his. Some Georgia representative, and he says, this friend of mine got a whole bunch of votes and they didn't even run. And meanwhile, he's just trying to describe these irregularities. And Noah here is saying, what's her last name, huh? If this friend of yours is real, blah, 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 what's her last name? These are elected people. They're public. Where's your source, bro? Where's your source, bro? Here's another clip of the moment. Wait, hold up.
You are? You go to paper ballots and count.
Ask him what proof he has in his fair. How do you know it's
Which election are you talking about? There was one. No. There was one down in Georgia. 3 Democrats.
I'm from Georgia.
Okay, there's 3 Democrats in Georgia in the summer of 22. She's a good friend of mine. She got 0 votes in her own precinct.
Who is it?
So Brenda, I'm not telling your last name.
I see.
But you see. But let me tell you.
No proof.
The proof. They looked into it in Georgia.
Okay.
Crooked Brad Rasmussen, your Republican Secretary of State.
Okay.
He looked into it and said, oh, it was a computer error. They gave her back her vote. She went from 3rd to 1st. She's a friend of mine. Another gal, Democrat, 4 counties over in Georgia. She got 4,600
But where's the
votes,
proof?
but she wasn't on the ballot.
You want me to take your word for it, right?
No. This was in the paper.
So what's her last name? She's an elected official.
Okay, let me tell you. In Georgia, I will tell you, an Obama-appointed judge last fall, this case has been going on 3.5 years. Alex Halderman, this is in your state, so you should be up on that. Alex Halderman, he's a Democrat, and he's also a cyber guy, and he looked into the machine, and he said there's problems. That judge last fall ruled, she ruled in your state. She said, we're going to look into this, we're bringing it to court, and the experts say there's problems, and she said, and if you question it, you're not a conspiracy theorist. So I got to take off my tinfoil hat. Now guess that, in her courtroom on January 9th in Georgia, now maybe you didn't see this in the news, maybe you're not up on things. Alex Halderman,
I am, I'm up on your bankruptcy too,
Alex Halderman with a ballpoint pen hacked into the machine in front of the judge and switched the whole election in front of her. Now that case is still in Georgia. She has not ruled on it yet. That's in your state. You want to know more in your state?
So
they just found
257,000
votes. This happened last week. A judge ruled in Georgia that are missing from the 2020 election. This just came out. You're behind.
So your source is Trust Me, Bro? That's your source?
The source. It's in your papers in Georgia. You need to read your news.
You haven't given me any last name.
You need to read your news.
Noah, you little stickler, huh? Hey, you little stickler, Noah. He's not saying trust me, bro. That's not his source. He's saying the source. He's a little inaccurate, whatever. But he's saying it's in your papers in Georgia, whatever that means. But his source is not trust me, bro. His source is it's in your papers in Georgia, whatever that means. Okay, you little stickler. And look, I'm bringing this up for a number of reasons. Look, what's interesting to me is everyone glazing this 12-year-old, saying he's amazing and he totally rolled Mike Lindell. Like, okay, are the things that Mike Lindell's talking about proven? No, from from the little knowledge I have, but he's not he's not bringing up random things. He's talking about, like, for example, there really was an expert in this Georgia voting machine trial who demonstrated to everyone there what was determined to be speculative, just to be fair, what was determined to just be speculation and not something that happened in the 2020 election. But that's what Mike Lindell's talking about. He's talking about a security expert who demonstrated literally to everybody there how these voting machines could be tampered with, and he showed it to them. So you're understanding me so far. And what am I saying with that? I'm just saying, all I'm saying with that is that what Mike Lindell's talking about is like inaccuracies and data, and he's talking about things that could point to it points to possible shenanigans that should be investigated or whatever. And to go, where's your source, bro? To that is like it's like liberal training. You get these Reddit liberals who require a source on something, on like dumb things like how do I put it? Like, let's say you give an anecdotal story. You're like, I noticed that in my life, like, you know, black people just they very commonly, you bring up a criticism of you bring up XYZ and they go straight to racism. I notice that happens a lot with black people. Where's your source, bro? It's just devoid of, it's not real. It's just little intellectual training. And they're saying this 12-year-old's parents must be so proud. Yeah, you raised a little liberal communist who says source, bro, to everything, I guess. And I guess he's a little Noah. And I don't know the deets on the election, okay? But that's what he's talking about. He's talking about discrepancies that bring up questions, that leave questions for people. I remember Tucker was talking about the double counted votes in Georgia. And the 200,000 or so votes that Mike Lindell was talking about here. I mean, yeah, it was debunked by the AP or whatever, but there's your source, bro. I mean, why are they glazing this 12-year-old for doing nothing? Why? Because we live in a fake world. This little kid is all mama. And people are just eating that up. I guess that's all I'm trying to say with this is that this little kid is all mama. He's all mama. And just the world praising it is sick. Well, you know what I'm trying to say, right? No, let me explain myself. I'm not going to say you know what I'm trying to say. That's a dumb little habit we got to nip in the bud. Fake world propping up. They love propping up people that are not that amazing, just a little trumped up intellectual. But of course they'll eat that up because he's trained. And I guess I didn't want to, I had more clips, I guess, but I don't want to go too deep into this. It's not that important, not that interesting. But you know, you see him at this 12-year-old at this DNC making commentary, and they're like, why are you a Democrat? They have the best policy, blah, blah, blah. And so why do you love the Democrats? Oh, also because they have he literally says they have these, they have like cool popular celebrities supporting the Democrats, and the Republicans have Kid Rock. And they're going, and he's doing the rounds on different podcasts and shows. He's on The Breakfast Club, and they're like, you totally handled an adult. Right on. You're amazing. What else about this? Whatever. Talking piece, coach talking piece, and of course, mamas are gonna love that. Oh, you're such a good boy. You've been trained to say all the right things. Where's your source, bro? Anyways, I'm kind of lost a little bit here. Like, did Mike Lindell get mad? What do you think? Did he get mad? I don't think he got mad. But this Noah did say that he got upset. And he said something interesting about getting upset. that was interesting where he said something about if you get upset, you like you've already lost or something. So if Mike Lindell got upset, that's on you, man. Not a good look, but I don't think so. Mike was unprepared. Mike Lindell was unprepared for the Gen Z parroted liberal responses. Most are. Like Source Bro, you mean, Carver? Noah. He's a Noah. He's a Noah and a doer. It's training. Let me try to express myself. Oh, the anchor baby's trying to express himself. Use your words. But I think I've expressed myself, you know, the spirit behind this little intellectual learning, how mama would be so proud of that, you could tell. And why would you treat this as something serious, Nick? We haven't heard of this BS until now. This kid's doing the rounds. He's on Breakfast Club. If you could draw a line from this to Lizzo to the Democratic National Convention, and then you would know the spirit behind it all, and how people can believe lies. What gets propped up? People love propping up. The world loves propping up little fake intellectuals. And some of these are fine questions. Some of these are fine questions about the election. I don't have those questions. These are just allegedly stuff from Mike Lindell, but they're fine questions to have. Remember, it took a lawsuit. There are these things called audit tally sheets. Let me get it right. It's called audit tally sheets. And I don't know, I'm not saying that this is evidence of fraud. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying this is evidence of anything. But here's what I can say. There's reporting from Tucker Carlson that it took a lawsuit to get the audit tally sheets from the Fulton County people over there that were counting those votes. And what is that? Okay, well, it's basically a record of, it's a record, okay? I may not know exactly what it is, but it's an important record. And it's this record and the discrepancies in this record that revealed to the public that a whole bunch of ballots may have been double counted and all that. And I'm not saying that's proof of anything. I'm really not, but it took a lawsuit to get that to pry it out of these Fulton County people. And let's say you present that to someone like Noah. They'll be like, yeah, but what's your proof of fraud? Oh, wait, hold on. Isn't that an interesting thing though? You don't want to doesn't that raise questions to you? But someone like Noah would be like, but where's your source of fraud, bro? And that's I guess to bow tie what I'm trying to say here. And the kind of the mentality and spirit behind the Democrats and a lot of the people voting against us, I guess. Like, let me leave it at that, okay? Okay, whatever. That's what I have to say about it. I see calls coming in, 888-775-3773. This little kid is all mama. What else? Let's get to a call. I got a caller on the air. Your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Ron. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland.
Thank you for your call, Ron. Is this your first time calling the American Anchor Baby?
No, you're the only one I can talk to. I'm working all day long. I like the whole network.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hey, honestly, I really enjoy how this implies history. I remember that the Romans...
Ron, real quick, are you on speaker?
I took you off.
Go ahead.
You can hear me now?
Go ahead.
Oh,
Ron, that's worse.
That's worse.
Go back.
Oh, hold on. Let me walk off. Bad.
All right, we got you.
I really enjoy how like this is like the Roman Colosseum. I understand that Jesse say don't look back to the past. I think he's talking about a personal thing when you're looking at your hurts. But I think studying history is very, very important. This is nothing more than what the Romans used to do when they had a problem. You know, like they have so many things entertaining us. We looking this way, pointing that way, thinking that way. That we really missed the point. We really missed the point. There's nothing going on but the rent, honestly, like the little old song would say. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. But they got us thinking it's something else going on. And these little situations, like, I had thought about this. When the last time you heard of a person get up there and talk about just straight human rights? The rights that a person walking down the street got. You could be straight, gay, male, female, whatever you want to call these other genders right now. But we don't talk about human rights. If we just covered human rights, a lot of this stuff wouldn't go on. But we got to keep, because each group is getting split open. So if I sit there and look out for people like you and your rights because you look different than me, then another person that look different between me and you going to sit there and start preaching our rights. Like that little kid, when I was a child, nobody would have took half the stuff that we doing right now serious. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Like, you know, like I was with my daughter. She went to high school the other day. You know, blah. I love it. You know, I ain't worried about it too much. I was looking at all the kids and adults talking to the kids, listening to them, trying to learn a new slang. It's like we so controlled and manipulated. Like, if you don't believe you brainwashed, then you got to understand that you are brainwashed. There's nothing out here that's really new besides the technology. But socially, they've been doing this for years to us. They've been doing this for decades, centuries, you know. Like, they want us apart, so it's easier to conquer us. That's a speech from Lincoln, a house divided cannot stand.
And you're saying us, everybody here.
I'm saying us as everybody as people. Like, they make us feel like if you look in, I know it's been going on with this Muslim thing and Jewish thing or whatever. If you really look at the history of those people, it was times and certain different sets of Muslim rulers that they didn't care if you had another religion, then you had to pay a tax. Then there's other sets of Muslims that was like, hey, you got to bow down to my God. And when they had the Muslims just basically taxing the Christians and taxing the Jews, they had more peace. But they want
when
you
they
to
were doing the
that
taxes?
Yes, sir. If you look back at the history, when you had like certain, I wish I knew the names better. I'm not that good of a historian. I do history as a hobby, so I can understand people a little bit better. But when you go back and look at how the Muslims were doing things, and the Romans are a big, big group of people that did this. They let you believe whatever religion you wanted as long as you followed the law of the land. And they've gotten us away from saying, this the law. These are the rights that you do when you walk down the street. They want to represent every little group, and represent every little group not going to work. You're a human being. When you come outside, that's how you act. When you go behind your door, you can wave plane tickets in the air and eat goats. It's fine. When you go behind closed doors, you can pray to whatever God you believe in, drink wine with your kid, that's fine. But when you come out this door, this the way you treat people. I notice we really gotten far away from when you come out this door, that's how you walk through the lane. Everybody want to push their God on people, push their mentality on people. And I believe in God in a different way than a lot of people. So I just think like maybe I'm crazy, but I'm thinking like it's a law of the land and it's a law of the God. If this law of the land say don't walk down the street and smack everybody that you see and get mad at them, don't kill people, that's what you follow. But when you go home, you can be an Indian with a red dot. You can be an Indian with a red feather. That don't matter. That's why I laughed at that Mike Lindell and the little boy thing. If that looked like something that like David Chappelle or Chris Rock would have as a skit on one of their shows. You know, I don't...
That's funny, Ron. Listen, it's an interesting commentary, man, especially likening our society and the things we see and that's being presented to us like the Roman Colosseum. I think they used to say bread and circuses or something like that Keep the people
I thought
docile.
It was breaking blood.
It's bread and circuses. Give the people bread and circuses, and they'll stay happy, and they'll stay fat and happy. And it's an interesting commentary to liken all that to this. If I may even add to that, because of I think you described well the division and how that's really that's really the intended effect for people leading stuff. It's just better for them. But look, on that, if I may add to that, I'd say this whole talk about rights, this whole talk about your rights is another one of these avenues to achieve what you're talking about. If you notice, that's what politicians love talking about. Kamala Harris, even Republicans, they love talking about what rights you're supposed to have, but never. You know what I mean? That they use that actually to do more of what you're saying, to divide. Like, think about it. They say different. They essentially believe that different people have different rights. That some have been oppressed and some have been taken from. So you got to take from others to give to those. And they say, right? You know what I mean? They use the rights that way. Do you believe that different colors have different rights?
No, it's not that. It's people want to have what they want to have, and they want to have their line in the grass, their fence around their house or whatever. I grew up in Maryland, and then at one particular time, I got blessed with the opportunity to move to San Francisco. And at that time, I was a little homophobic, and I just believed there was going to be nothing but a bunch of gay men out there. When I moved to San Francisco, I met some of the best women I ever got with, right? And it hit me. They told me what they told me to keep me away from their little pot of gold. You know what I mean? Like, people really, really lie to each other to keep them from experiencing or being comfortable and so forth like that. So that's why I started getting back into what I said about it's not good to have a group having rights and they don't say human rights anymore. Like, when I first moved out there, it was like the late 90s or whatever. So, like, gay marriage really didn't exist and so forth like that. And they always presented it as, and it was nothing but gay people. When I moved out to California,
who presented it like that?
So many women. I feel like I'm black, but I feel like that's how San Francisco was presented to me as a
by
gay
who?
Mecca.
By other blacks in your area?
But a lot of even white people, I'm gonna say males. Let's say males.
So all those people that were telling you that weren't living in San Francisco?
Nope.
So how do you know they were trying to keep you from San Francisco? I mean, I bet you.
I feel like.
Go ahead.
I feel like all right. I live in the biggest city in Maryland, and this city is cool, and we do have problems with crime or whatever. And I feel like last week or so, they was like, this is one of the worst cities in America. But certain places I go with some of the best parks and places I've ever been to, I feel like at some point in time, they try to compartmentalize our mentality. And they always give us a reason to say no to each other, or no to ourselves, no to ourselves. But I've been places all over the country, and honestly, America is not that safe, but it's not as dangerous as they make it like.
And so what's your point with that?
I think that we get embedded with things that make us move a certain way. Like, if I honestly believe the gentleman that I was talking to, that I was a younger kid, but I worked at a job with older people. And when I would tell them, like, yeah, I'm moving out with my mom in San Francisco, they'd be like, oh, it's nothing but a bunch of loose bundle of sticks out there. You know what I'm saying? To be.
And you called it homophobic. Can you describe what you mean?
Like, I felt like what I just said. Like, people would just say, like, gay stuff about San Francisco. And when I moved out there, I realized I dated the most amount of women. I had the most best time with women out there. But if you dated women,
in San Francisco, does that necessarily mean there aren't a whole bunch of gay people out there?
But I'm not gay, so I wasn't focused. That's like you a turtle.
Exactly.
You a turtle that live in the sand, and a turtle live in the water. You looking for the sand. You're not looking for the water. You know what I mean? Like, you knew who you were. I was confident of who I was, and it made it easy for me to see through that mentality. But I never knew. I mean,
do you love gay people?
I never know what I can. Yeah, my mom gay. You know, it's not gay when you're a woman. What's it called? A lesbian. My mom's a lesbian. That's why she moved out there, to move to the gay Mecca. And when I got out there, I got with some of the best looking women I ever had. You know what I mean? And it was just like, that's what you're going to find what you're looking for. Just like you go through your boyfriend phone and you want to find that one text, you go through your girlfriend phone, you want to find that one text, or you want to find a good party, or you want to find a nice home. You're going to find what you're looking for. I wasn't looking for nothing like that. I was looking to have a good time, drink me a beer, and go back to work tomorrow. And I dated some of the best-looking women I ever dated. Like, I love Baltimore.
What do you mean when you say you love gay people?
Like, why hate them? Why I hate them? I don't really agree a little bit religiously because they can't reproduce, and that hurt my feelings when I meet a nice person and everything, a nice, beautiful woman or a man, and I realize this person with that lifestyle will never reproduce to make another nice person. Like, sometimes I meet a gay person that's better off as a mother or father than the person than a homeboy or homegirl I got that is a mother or father. So I think a lot of times that's what maybe is what the real core of being gay is a sin of. It's like it's some really good people. What they say is really good people on both sides. You know what I mean? Like, but other than like if I'm like around gay people and I'm not gay, it don't bother me. Like, maybe I'm not hanging with them as long as I hang with straight people where I think I can meet a woman.
Right.
But it's not like bothering me, you know.
You said earlier that I look different, and so I have different rights. Could you explain what you mean?
Okay, so right now we in to looking at certain groups of people and giving them a right. My best example is Black Lives Matter did what they did at their marches or whatever. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but the outcome of Black Lives Matter having the marches is Asians, the best legislative thing that came out is Asians got a bill to protect them from hate crimes when it shouldn't be nothing right there with the Asian part or the black part or the Latino part or the Asian part. You know what I mean? It should be like, hey, you do this to a person, that's wrong. And I think like gay rights had a point, and like, all right, this is why I feel like with affirmative action and a lot of gay rights, it was a point where certain things need to be in place. But at this time, in this day, especially with
like
feminists, I feel like this. It's like, all right,
you needed certain things in place with affirmative action, civil rights, and gay rights and all that. What did you need in place that was necessary from those things?
I think at one time it was needed. Like, say you come, I'm renting you an apartment, and you come dressed to me like 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, and I don't give you the apartment. You might have yourself financially stable, right? But just because you come dressed to me like 𝒂𝒏𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, I don't get you an apartment. That's not happening now. Because you come to me because I'm black and you don't rent the black people. That's kind of really not happening right now. And then I'll lean back on what Jesse be saying is, that's my business too. I should be able to make the choice between those two things. I feel like, number one, anybody doing any discrimination against any group of people, they are a prime suspect to get sued and lose what they have.
Well, help me understand. You said that if you make this, you would criticize this bill that protected Asians. You said the blacks don't need stuff like that, but the gays, they did.
They at that time. You see what I'm saying? Like,
was there ever a time was there a time where blacks needed something like that? Was there a time that some other group or Asian?
Yeah, I really feel like when affirmative action first came in the scene, it was needed. But like, affirmative action came before I was born. I'm in my 40s. At this point in time, I can sue those people. Like, if a woman come to me or a person come to me and say, I make less money because of my skin color, my sexual orientation, my sex, male or female, whatever, we can set them people up and sue them. The laws is in place right now. So that was needed at a time, just like a baby sucking a pacifier. At that time, maybe the baby needed to suck the pacifier.
Well, let's do one thing at a time. You said let's deal with one thing at a time. So you said at one time you said at one time you did need affirmative action. So help me understand, what part of affirmative action was positive and necessary?
I think that if it was two qualified people of different races, and they picked whoever they wanted to, that's where we kind of at right now. But I think at another time, if it was a person and I had a stigmata because you was Irish or you was a woman I'm in my boys' club. I believe that was going on. I believe that at some point
And
in time,
is that wrong?
Wanted to keep people a little bit. I feel a little bit it was wrong because you didn't give the most qualified person the chance to do the job. But in some sense, it's like, if it's my own business, I can choose whatever. And because of capitalism, I'm a fail. Because somebody else is going to make a better system and a
Or
better
succeed.
product. I could succeed.
Or maybe
That's right.
succeeded.
But I feel
Yeah, I'm following you. I'm just adding a little asterisk. Or succeed and keep your whatever. Okay, so then what was good about affirmative action?
It was a crutch to our society getting better. Like, I really feel like in the 90s, that was the least amount of racism I ever seen around. That was the least amount of everything. Even with Rodney King getting beat up and all of that stuff, I felt like in the 90s that we was at like a pinnacle compared to where we at right now. Like, I didn't hear everybody being so racial.
But you said affirmative action allowed, basically, if I may summarize, you basically said affirmative action protected the blacks, for example, that were equally qualified to somebody else, but were passed over because of their race or whatever. But I mean, isn't even the first part of that statement a lie? Blacks weren't. Blacks weren't equal in terms of skill, in terms of the thing. Like, for example, taking it back to, I'm thinking of Booker T. Washington right now. I'm thinking of slavery ending. To pretend like all these people were suddenly just as skilled and developed and all that as I guess the rest of the country. What isn't that a lie? And isn't that lie gonna set you up in the long run? I'm thinking about how Booker T was telling people, you got to cast your bucket where you are and work with what you have and build yourself up from there.
I feel like some things are beautiful and some things are ugly. And another reason why I was saying what I said about affirmative action and certain things is I think affirmative action should have been mandatory to the federal government, where everybody was paying taxes to, and not so mandatory towards private businesses. But the government, this is how I feel today, I don't feel like the government worked like it's supposed to, but I feel like sometimes some of those things were really, really more proposed for our government. Like, you a secretary, you black, you can type 35 words a minute. She white, she can type 35 words a minute. I'm going to hire her because she white. You know what I mean?
Right, is that wrong?
That's another reason why I think affirmative action is not needed right now. And there's a lot of laws to stop a business to do it. I felt like a lot of the things that they was applied to our federal government in a whole way more than it applied to Chick-fil-A.
But you should be allowed to not hire someone just because they're black.
And that's why I say our federal government was a big problem.
Isn't that our freedom to, freedom of association? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like that. And that's why I think that we took it too far. And that's why it's not needed right now. Like, I really think about how, like, Angela Davis did all the stuff she used to do. She used to inspire me and everything. And then one time I was watching an interview with her with some members of NWA, and I heard her talk, and that broke me. And then the next thing I did when I researched her was saw that she worked for, like, UC Berkeley or whatever, University of California. And I'm thinking, that's crazy that this woman did all that to fight the people to end up working for them. And then when she see young black people there, she just arguing with them. It's like, this is the end. That's when I started getting this idea, like, wait a minute, these laws was for the federal government. They weren't for the private sector. Like, if you had a school up in the mountains with nothing but white kids in it, and a black teacher applied and you didn't hire him, he shouldn't be able to go back and sue you he shouldn't be able to put the same amount of work that he could have found another job to sue them just so he can be the only black teacher up there. They should have hired him because he was a good teacher. And maybe he could have went back and went through a couple of schools and showed that he was a good teacher, and they would have hired him. I just felt like at some level, little things like that was necessary for a short period of time, but they became like a lame.
Right, I already heard you on that. I got to bring it back to your original statement. It's like there's a contradiction here. You said we don't need these types of laws. It's wrong to be dividing people like that with the Asians. But the gays and the blacks, they did need it.
For a certain point of time, like, just to stop the hate. Just
Has
long
this
enough-
has
it's like
the
a
hate been
Band-Aid.
stopped?
It's like a Band-Aid.
Would you say the hate's
I
been
feel
stopped?
like- honestly, bro, I feel like I hate to say this because I love seeing people prosper, but like under Obama, the hate done rose too high. Like the hate, like I felt like in the 90s we wasn't like this. In the early 2000s under Bush, I didn't feel like that. Now, today, I feel like something happened. We can go deep into that one another day when I call you. But
Well, if
like
I
that
may,
hate
because of
has-
time, I think I know why. I mean, I think everything because of literally, you're saying, I don't know, it used to be better, it's getting worse. It's because of the things you describe it, man. It's because of the things you think we needed. No, all those things were a condemnation of a whole nation of people that were not guilty. Okay, the affirmative action, the civil rights, the gay rights, and all that was a condemnation of people who had done nothing to them. It was an assumption of what was in their hearts, and that has only the only thing that's come out of all of that, civil rights and all that, is more hate, blame, and victimhood. And what do those things produce? Everything you're talking about. You wonder why it used to be better. 90s, we got along better. Why is it getting like this? It's because of the things you're talking about. Because those were justifications of anger. Those were justifications of all the nasty things that maybe and look, maybe there were nasty things done to them. I won't deny that at all. But it was a justification to blame all of America for some of the nasty things happening to maybe some of these people. You know what I mean? And codifying it into law, and the only thing that comes out of that is more mess. So
all right, like I want to ask you a question like that because, like I said, things feel close to me because I'm close to those things. Like, all right, this one thing I felt like about the civil union. I'm saying it like that specifically because I feel like this is like, all right, Nick. I'm not to put you down or whatever, but you got your little boy. You got a man that you grew through life with and everything like that.
Wait, say it again.
You had a man that you was with, right? And
wait, what are you talking about? What? I was with a man?
Yeah, I'm just saying, not to insult you, Nick. Please don't let me.
I'm just not following. Is this a hypothetical? Are you making up a scenario?
Yeah, a hypothetical, no accusing.
Okay.
But like you was with a person of your same sex, right?
Okay.
And then y'all build something together, and you die. No, say the other person died, and they had a son or a daughter out there. I thought it was wrong to homosexual people where the son could come in and take from you what you built with that person. And that's why I kind of said some of the things might have been necessary to get us to this point.
To protect that scenario.
Yeah, but then...
But we got to back up a little bit. We got to back up a little bit. How do two men have a kid?
Everybody, look, some people, by the way, gay, Nick. By the way, they gay. You know what I mean? They be making babies. A lot of people got babies.
I know, but... let's start at square one. Let's start at step one. How do two men have a child?
They have a child previously in that family from before they met you.
And you're saying, okay, so okay. And so what's happening? So let's say one of these people has a son somehow from a different family somehow. What you're telling me that this child is able to do something negative to the parents, to the so-called parents?
Right. So my father, I ain't gonna disrespect my father. Say I got a parent that was gay, right?
Okay.
And they built something with another person.
Okay.
And then my parent died. I could come in and I could what's it called? Probate. I could fight them in probate and take from that person. And I thought that was wrong.
And you can't do that to straight couple parents?
It's easier to manipulate. It's easier to maneuver.
Yeah, because it sounds like I've heard of what you're talking about. That's not a exclusive gay thing.
No, it's not. But
it's not at all exclusive gay thing. And you're just saying it's just easier to do. But that's the same argument that you could say for civil rights and all that. Well, that black people, they get treated worse, and so we got to have. And it's just a lie. It's just a pure lie.
I'm be honest with you. And before we go on, I feel like civil rights, and I was raised by older people. Civil rights was kind of like because we can, we will, and I don't think that was right. I think that we should have built a community that gained the respect of. I don't really understand how I talk to older people that probably been through Jim Crow and all that other stuff, and they don't talk anything like younger people that I meet that didn't even have that didn't even have the situations that my older family went through, and they don't talk like that. Like that is something where like really that's why I'm open to listen to, and I love debating with people who have like who have a more broad sense of mind, because I felt like I understand like maybe for this and that, maybe it was little things, but if we would be in a community, elect our own delegates and do stuff like that, we could get laws passed. And I have a big thing with like my friends right now that is so still stuck on BLM. They refuse to see that no legislation, no political representation came from that. Like, I would think that if this country is built how I built, and I believe in the Constitution, one of the first things I want to do is get people into office that believe the things that I believe, even if that's not all
you
American.
But so far you've told me you believe in feeling bad for people. You believe that we're not all equal, but some people require, corrupt laws to protect them.
I don't believe in equality. I don't believe in equality.
You know what I mean? Like equal under the law. That's what I meant. You believe some require protection. So far, you're okay with, some aspects of civil rights and gay rights because some part of you believes they were oppressed or were mistreated in the law and all that. But then your examples are devoid of any. Go ahead.
I do, but I believe that the way the Constitution is written and the way the system is, if we were really serious about helping each other, we could use it to our advantage. Because it says if certain amount of people vote for a certain person, that person is elected into our federal our government, from the city all the way up into the feds and stuff like that. And honestly, I don't see that any group has done that. I don't see any group really doing that. And now I see it being used to buy votes. Like I was talking to a personal friend of mine.
Last point. Go ahead, because of time.
They was like, the Republican the convention was boring and the Democrat convention was exciting, and they was all on what the Democrats were doing. I'm like, Usher was having a concert in town last week. If we want to get entertained,
yeah, man,
that's how I feel. Usher had a concert last week. So anyway, yeah, like I said, I might try to get into another group. I'm gonna make sure I shout you out because I called you a different couple of times or whatever.
Thank you, sir.
But I like thinking about you, what you say.
Appreciate your call, man. Sincerely, call me again. 88. Okay, folks. Sorry, I got carried away maybe a little bit. My bad. I'm running out the clock a little bit. I want to save. I want to save some of this. I won't even say. I'll save it for tomorrow. So I was running out the clock a little bit there. Look, I got a little carried away. Maybe I shouldn't have. My apologies there. Someone bought me a coffee, says, here's some money for the Ozempic bills. You're supposed to keep that a secret, okay? You got to keep the people guessing. That's a joke, but I appreciate the coffee anyways, someone. That's it from everybody. I appreciate the support. Rumble supporters, you guys rock. Thank you so much. Top contributors on DLive. What else do I have for you here? Thank you, super chatters. Talking with Ron there. Maybe we spent a little bit of time there. Apologies, but hey, appreciate your call, Ron. What did I want to say about that? Nothing. Appreciate it, folks. Look, I'll be back tomorrow for more American Anchor Baby as we do. But I'm out of here for today. All right, y'all. Appreciate the support, all the calls and all that. And I'll see you tomorrow, okay? That's it. Peace. Take care, y'all.